So on behalf of Humanist Canada, and I'm standing here obviously with Srishti Hukku, who is our lifetime member, and we collaborate greatly and felt it was really important to reflect a gender balance as we open these plenaries today.
So, good morning, colleagues. Bienvenue au Canada et à Toronto. Merci d'être ici avec nous aujourd'hui. Vanakkam, namaskar, bonjour.
On behalf of Humanist Canada, the Centre for Inquiry Canada, and the Humanist Association of Toronto, we've been delighted to partner with Perrier International to this third international conference on humanism, hosted by Perrier International. So our focus on humanism and social justice is timely, given the substantial challenges and injustices highlighted through COVID, the killing of George Floyd, the discovery of unmarked graves as a tragic legacy of Canada's residential school system, the attack on Salman Rushdie, or the reversal of Roe v. Wade in the United States. These events remind us all that civil liberties are all too precarious and that humanism has a pivotal place in shaping our future. Social justice is also close to my heart personally. As I stand before you as a privileged white male, able-bodied person, what you won't immediately know is that I'm also queer, with a racialized partner, and have faced injustice in Canada and abroad. My personal experience, combined with evidence on systemic barriers, drives me, Srishti, and all of us at Humanist Canada as we seek to advance social justice.
And you may not be aware, but in Canada, advancing social justice starts at the local level by advancing the rights of Indigenous peoples. Our Indigenous peoples have a long-standing tradition of land acknowledgement, and as an organization, Humanist Canada centers an intersectional approach in everything that we do. It is in this light that I share with you that as an immigrant and first-generation Canadian, I'm genuinely grateful to be here at this conference, but also on this land. With this gratitude, it is also important to acknowledge the privilege consonant with having opportunities that would have otherwise not been possible. This conference is timely, with yesterday having been the International Day for Reconciliation and September 30th being Canada's National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. As someone who also comes from a community that has faced genocide, and as an internally displaced person, my heart breaks for the Indigenous people of Canada and the intergenerational trauma that they carry. Before we begin our journey today, I encourage all of us to take a moment to reflect on our own positions of privilege and oppressions and recognize how they relate to the calls to action from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. So invite us now to take a few seconds to pause and have a moment of silence.
We're all gathered here over this weekend, given our joint vision for a socially just world, where the pursuit of social justice is fundamental in Humanist Canada's history. Our founding president, Dr. Henry Morgentaler, opened his first abortion clinic in 1969 in Montreal, challenging what we all saw as an unjust law, placing burdensome restrictions on women seeking abortions. After a series of court trials, Dr. Morgentaler was sentenced to a prison term. And in 2008, Morgentaler was awarded the Order of Canada for his commitment to increased healthcare options for women and his determined efforts to influence Canadian public policy and his leadership in humanist and civil liberties organizations. And so we continue this tradition of social activism with our ongoing work to expand access to humanist officiants and humanist chaplains across the country.
In Canadian humanist history, more broadly, we also have a long tradition of intercultural collaboration. Many of you may not know this, but actually Dr. R.K. Mishra, an Indian origin physician who worked at the University of Montreal, has been identified in literature as arguably the founder of organized humanism in Canada. In fact, Dr. R.K. Mishra issued a call to fellow humanists in an advertisement in 1954 in an issue of the Montreal Star, which is a local newspaper. Dr. R.K. Mishra hoped that rationalists would identify themselves if they were interested in forming a local humanist group. And it was through this ad that the Humanist Fellowship of Montreal was born, a precursor to Humanist Canada.
Srishti and I embrace this long-standing tradition of collaboration as we move our national organization forward together. Together, we've been involved with humanism for over 50 years. Hard to believe given our youthfulness. And so between us, we've taught and formally studied humanism, attended humanist conferences such as this, represented humanist delegations. We've also performed humanist ceremonies as humanist officiants and listened as humanist chaplains with a caring humanist ear to the existential, ethical, emotional, and equity issues experienced by many over their life course. As global citizens, we're members of Humanist International, Humanist Australia, Humanist UK, and the American Humanist Association.
And although our family histories and origins are very different, it's our shared humanist values, a love for democracy, a desire to create a humane and ethical society, and an enduring belief in human potential that are a bridge that unite us. Our shared values have helped us to grow, and we hope that our example here today can shape some features of this conference. Most importantly, as intergenerational friends and colleagues from different intersectional positions, we continue to embrace working actively together. We wish you a happy conference. Nandri Miigwech.